And this next fight's a battle of two strikers, both trying to get back on the right track. Both these guys are taking some time off. AJ Dobson took about 10 months off. It's been a little bit over a year off for Tafon Nchukwi. And they're coming back reinvigorated, hopefully. And one of them is going to be able to get the win and move forward in their career. I think the other will probably get cut. When you look at Tafon Nchukwi, he definitely has had the worst losses. I mean, Dobson has had two close decision losses, whereas Tafon has got knocked out back-to-back times. So you definitely have to question the chin of Nchukwi, especially with him getting knocked out in the first round in his last fight. But he's been fighting pretty high-level competition, and now he's making the drop down to 185, where maybe he'll be able to take the power better against these 185ers, but he's fighting one of the heavier hitters at 185 in AJ Dobson. And Dobson, so far in his career, he really hasn't beaten anybody good. I mean, you look at his record, and all of his wins are against kind of suspect competition, but he did show that he can compete against guys like Armen Petrosyan and Jacob Malkoun, who are both pretty high level. So even though he didn't get the win in those, he didn't look like he didn't belong. So, but when I look how these guys match up, and Nchukwi's a pressure fighter. He likes to come forward, kind of counter strike. He will throw some leg kicks, the jab, and then try to counter with a big overhand right cross, or a kind of right hook when fighters go first. You also try to throw that check hook, but pretty low volume at times. He likes to attack the body, which I like to see, and his body work is good, but it's just, I don't know if his speed is going to be allowing him to get inside and get in those positions to work the body against Dobson. I think at 205, he's a lot faster, and at 185, I don't really like him as much at this weight class, but he's also extremely strong. He's good in the clinch. He can hold you against the cage, knee you, elbow you. His takedown defense is pretty solid, and I don't think Dobson's really going to be going for takedowns, but his takedown defense is pretty solid for Nchukwi, and he doesn't really have wrestling, but he has great cardio. Basically, he stays very solid defensively. He stays with the basics, tries to chip away at you, wear you down, and then take you out with big shots late or decision you. And he does have some decent pop in his punches and power. But AJ Dobson, he's a little bit more low volume, I would say. Both these guys are low volume, but Dobson, in his fights, he hasn't thrown any punches, and that's been his issue, man. I mean, the guy looks very skilled and talented. It's just you got to let the hands go. You got to let the shots go and be more high volume in your fights. But Dobson, he has very fast 1-2s, very sharp, decent kicking game as well. But really the main weapons that he goes for are the jab and the straight right hand, and he has brutal power. When he lands clean, he can knock you out viciously. Very fast hand speed, and he likes to stand upright, pressure you, and get right in your face, wait for you to throw so he can try to pull counter. And sometimes that can lead to him kind of getting outworked with kicks and kind of guys just touching him and moving and not allowing him to get set and land those big punches. And Dobson hasn't really had a lot of experience in long fights. All of his fights before going to the UFC were first-round finishes, and now he's been in 2 decisions in a row. And he has showed good cardio, but it's just he needs to figure out how to win minutes more in fights and be able to win decisions. And but this fight, though, I mean, I feel like he has a big speed advantage, and Nchukwi's going to be coming forward. He's going to be giving him what he wants, and I do think he has a huge chance to knock out Nchukwi, and that's kind of what I think is going to happen. I feel like Nchukwi's kind of damaged goods at this point. I can't trust him, and he could kind of maybe use his basic pressure striking style to decision Dobson, but I feel like Dobson's going to catch him at some point along the way and put his lights out. I don't like Nchukwi at 185, and I just feel like Dobson's the more dynamic fighter. He's the guy that I think is going to be a little bit hungrier, and I'm going to go with Dobson. I'm going to say he wins via first or second round KO TKO.